I'm smoking in the open. I got La Mama scoping, and I think that bitch a wine.
What is up? Welcome back to another video. It is Monday, so let's get into the news. Quick shout out to the members of the channel whose lovely names are listed all around here. Remember, if you join the channel, you not only support me, the work I do here, but you get the special shout out once a week. Also, you get access to exclusive content, early access to other content, and I just started the first poll for all members. I'll give you a list of different options. Depending on what you vote for will influence my decision. You'll see that video at the end of the month. So if you want a chance to vote on that, join the channel, place your vote. If you can't do so, that's completely fine. Just like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on these weekly news videos and other content that I have, such as guides and reviews that I'm posting on the regular. Thank you very much for that support. We'll get into the news. And to start off with, I have to submit a bit of a correction. See, I thought I was doing a pretty good job reading the runes, reading the tea leaves that were out there, and speculating about Ferrania's current status. But I received a message from somebody last week, and he is an Italian, so shout out to the Italians out there. He said, hey, listen, I live in Italy. I was talking to a photo shop who has insider access to Ferrania, and he's saying that they're actually on the come up. So reach out to him, see what it's at. You know, maybe there's some more info there. And I said, okay, great, thank you very much. I do appreciate that a whole lot. So I reached out to the photo shop in question, which is called, it's Photo Factory Store. And I said, hello, this was on Thursday. Hello, I hope this finds you well. Reaching out because I was told you/your store has some inside contacts with Ferrania, and I was hoping to get a bit more of an insight to their current status. They say, thank you for your message. From January 8th, Ferrania has a new CDA and new ownership. From next week, they will start producing again. Probably by late spring, there will be first arrivals. Ferrania P30, Ferrania Ortho, both in 35mm, are still available. I say that's fantastic. Was there any explanation as to why P30 on their site was listed as last production? Ferrania P30 before the release of P33 was produced with emulsion spread on a support with an alpha machine. With the arrival of P33, it was decided to change this machine for spreading the emulsion and use a more modern one. After the second production of P33, it was decided to use this machine also for the last production of Ferrania P30 in September 2024. Those ones are still in the market and are the last ones produced by Ferrania. Last production does not mean last as in final, but last as in last of modern. So I thought that was a massive clarification of the details that we were given. And I go on to say thank you very much again for the support. I ask if it's okay if I make a video. They say, of course. The only doubt is, does Ferrania now have new ownership, or have the new investors supported the old ownership with new funds to relaunch production after the economic problems Ferrania had last winter? They also say I spoke to some people who work for Ferrania today, and they didn't clarify this for me. Very, very enlightening conversation. And in fact, by the time Thursday had rolled around, Ferrania's website was back up. So I don't really know why it was down for a couple of days, but Ferrania, if you've been paying attention for the last few years of their resurgence, has been plagued with all sorts of issues, whether it's factory shutdowns, financial problems, COVID, all sorts of things of that nature. So it's not too surprising to see their misfortunes continue, although it is, you know, unfortunate, not something that like I'm stoked about, but I am stoked about the fact that they're potentially coming back. Again, very curious to see if it is under new leadership, or if the leadership has had any kind of sway as to the company's fortunes. I really don't think it is. I think a lot of this stuff is out of their control. However, I do think that the level of communication could have been improved at a few points, because I know myself and a lot of other people's out there were speculating as to their future, and were kind of bummed out about the potential future without Ferrania. But I'm hoping that once they kind of get the train back on the tracks here, we'll be back and running. And I don't want to sound like a broken record and repeat the Ferrania story so much more. So until I get more concrete news, or until, if anything else changes, I will let you know. But this will probably conclude my overall speculation course, or just talking about Ferrania for the near future. I will say though, again, their website is back up. From what I could tell last week, they still weren't able to ship some stuff to America. That could change if they don't have like enough stock to necessarily send. It probably doesn't make as much sense. But if you do want to get Ferrania film, I would check out Reformed Film Lab. They have P30 and Ortho in stock, and I believe they have Ortho in 35mm and 120, and P30 in just 35mm. There's other places that have it as well, but Reformed Film Lab has the best deals. I would check their site out, and I will list it down below for you to do so. So that's cool. Ferrania's back on the map, maybe. Hey, moving on to the next point. My friend Modified Film, creator of film, modifying it to kind of resemble something more like Lomo Purple. But it's a really cool product, and it's just, from what I can tell, a guy in California producing it himself. You can check out his site on Etsy if you want to purchase it. But he's also looking for distributors in both Canada and European markets. Apparently there are some people who are interested in buying it in Canada or in Europe. But unfortunately, the shipping cost is a little bit too prohibitive. So if you are a distributor in either Canada or Europe, if you have a shop out there and you are interested, feel free to reach out to him. The next item is not really something worth talking about all that much, but I'd read somewhere that Lomography was no longer selling their 120 film stocks in 3-packs anymore. And I thought that was kind of odd, but it wasn't like a very high priority for me to look into. But since it's a slow news week, I decided to look into it a little bit. And that's not entirely true. They still have their Color 400 in a 3-pack, and I believe there was another one as well. It doesn't look like their Lomo 800 Color is in the 3-pack anymore. I think it's just single rolls at this point. But they do have Lomo Color 100 and their black and white 100. I believe in 3-packs, but those are both sold out at the moment. So there are still Lomo 3-packs of 120 available. It just kind of depends on that. If this interests anybody, this is not like a new product necessarily, but if you wanted to kind of get experimental with your film photography, they have a variety pack basically of their, purple film, their turquoise film, metropolis film, all of those kind of more fun experimental films. Your mileage may vary on if you want to shoot those, but if you want, just a little sampler of it, I believe the trio is like in the upper 30s, low 40s, and I think the 4-pack is kind of in the mid 40s or something like that. So it could be worth checking out. I'll just link their shop down below if you want to look into it, but that's pretty much it. In other news, I was going through my catalog of news videos, and I came across a camera that reportedly came out last November, I think it was, or at least was announced last November, and it was the To Be Continued film camera, which you might not remember, but it was this transparent point-and-shoot camera. Apparently it's out, I guess, kind of. I found a site that's allegedly selling it. It's like 75 euros or something like that. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about it is because it's one of those that like I legitimately completely forgot that I even talked about it in the first place. It has a very weird design, and I do recall them talking about it and trying to be very assertive that there was no sort of light leaks. But in one of the first sample images from the camera, there is a very distinct light leak, which I think is kind of funny. Despite that, the images on here, it's a very standard, hip, cool kind of thing. It seems like it's maybe more profiting off of the hype of film photography as opposed to like actually adding anything substantive to the brand. I don't recommend you get it or anything. It just was one of those things that was like, I completely forgot that this was even a product that was coming out, and there's really not a whole lot worth talking about. It's incredibly basic. It's literally just like a Kodak M35 situation, but with clear plastic as opposed to colored plastic. So if that interests you for whatever reason, 75 pounds, I'll link it down below, but if it doesn't interest you, I completely understand. Again, I just was like, I forgot that I even talked about this. So that's a camera. It being a very slow news week, I was going through different sites trying to see if there was anything I potentially missed. I stumbled upon Fuji's website just to see maybe if they have some announcement of something. And turns out they're living in the future. They posted a press release from February 9th of 2025. So if you are interested in checking that out, it's fascinating what the future is like. Of course, if you click on the article, one of the first dates that's actually given says January 9th, 2025. So it's probably just a little bit of a error there, but I did think it was kind of funny in a way. So, and also the press release itself was just about the 8 new recipients of Fujifilm fellowships at Harvard Medical School. So not really like important or relating to film photography in any way. And finally, to round things out, I have the Contacts RTS review, which I posted yesterday. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check that out, definitely recommend you do so because, you know, promote viewership on my channel and stuff, but also just kind of a fun watch. And if you don't mind hearing me talk for about 15 minutes about complete baloney, then you'll have a great time. Also, it's a very interesting camera that you might be interested in getting yourself, but also probably not, and that's completely understandable. But check it out all the same. I'll have a video out on the second channel as well, a little Contacts RTS photo walk that I will post the link to here if you want to check that out. Again, another like 15-20 minutes of me walking around a park, taking not great photos and talking to myself. Really, what more could you ask for? I find a way to continue to deliver what the people truly want. But I think that does it for today's video. I think we're all good. We'll wrap up here. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, like the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future content. I've got a few more videos planned for this week, and as well as another news video next week with anything new, interesting, worth talking about in the film photography world. So thank you again so very much, and I will catch you on the next one.